Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to 48 Views. Earlier this week, Woj dropped a Woj bomb around 2 a.m. Eastern Time, and Harden was finally traded out of Philly to his desired destination, that is the Los Angeles Clippers. In today's video, I want to give my review of the trade overall and a short projected outlook for each team going forward. So, let's start by taking a look at the moving pieces of this trade. So at a high level, Clippers get James Harden, PJ Tucker, and Philip Petrusev, who this is the first time I've actually heard of. And in return, the 76ers get Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, and KJ Martin. And basically draft picks, which includes 2 first-round picks. Now, in order to assess how Philly did here or the value of the package they just got in return for Harden, I think it's important to look at what they spent to get Harden almost 2 years ago. So, let's flash back to February 2022 when James Harden was traded to Philly originally from the Brooklyn Nets to remind ourselves, what did Philly spend to get Harden? In this original deal for Harden, Philly gave up Andre Drummond, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, along with 2 first-round draft picks. And now, looking at the 76ers trade this year with the Clippers, the 76ers get a W for ridding the locker room of a man that did not want to be there and improving team chemistry surrounding Joel Embiid. In terms of trade assets, I think they got a solid return, also keeping in mind Harden's depreciating value as an asset. In 2022, Philly basically traded 2 first-round picks and players to get Harden, and this year, they got the same back from the Clippers by getting 2 first-round picks and players back in return for James Harden. Looking at the breakup with Harden, it's been said that no team's fan base is more happy than when their team trades away James Harden, and I think that is consistent here for the Philadelphia 76ers fan base. Which makes sense, as although it didn't flame out quite as bad as the Ben Simmons era, it just didn't work. Clearly, the 76ers did not make it past the second round with James Harden, and there's nothing wrong with cutting losses both ways. I think the most fascinating component of this trade is the fallout between Harden and the 76ers general manager Daryl Morey. It seems like Daryl Morey reneged on a promise he made to James Harden sometime along when he was first acquired by the Philadelphia 76ers, but we'll see if more on that ever surfaces. I think Philadelphia could get better from this trade in an addition by subtraction sort of scenario, but this puts more pressure on Maxey and Tobias Harris for now. I do think Maxey will step up and have a great season as the second scoring option, but I do question how high his ceiling or potential is as it pertains to playmaking and running the pick and roll in particular. Looking out at the horizon, Philly does have flexibility to use those first round draft picks to go for another player at some point, so I'd be surprised if they don't make another move before the season ends. Overall, Philly seems to be in the same sort of place they've always been in as a contender with Embiid. Not truly out of the race, but never really close to the upper echelon of contenders. But there's hope now with the James Harden era coming to a close. Philly will need another star at some point unless the improved chemistry of their new roster produces enough points and assists through the other players on the team surrounding Joel Embiid. Moving on to the Clippers side of the trade, they did end up trading this Philip Petrusev to the Kings to free up a new roster spot. But I also give them a W in this trade for 2 reasons. They basically acquired Harden for nothing, and they improved by adding flexibility and depth. They can stagger Harden and Russ, or they can run them together, but it adds more minutes to compensate for games PG and Kawhi may potentially miss. If PG and Kawhi are healthy alongside Russ and Harden in the playoffs when it matters, I definitely think this team improves so long as Harden has the right mindset. Looking here, we can also see how their championship odds have improved significantly around the time the trade was made, so Vegas seems to think they've improved. A lot of talking heads say they feel bad for Russ, but I don't, because I think he'll be fine. Tyler and the Clippers have definitely unlocked him and found the right rotation, and seeing it now makes more sense as he always had success with PG and OKC, and Kawhi really is the same type of player. Harden could offset this chemistry or this newfound wave they found with Russ, but I believe in Ty Lue and I think he'll figure it out. The Clippers have been interested in Harden for one reason or another since the summer, and it doesn't seem like Russ's play from late last season into early this season has changed that at all for them. I think Russ will do what he does, and he'll continue to persevere through whatever the season has in store, like he always has. Now, I know I said the Clippers got Harden for basically nothing, and I say that because the 2 draft picks they traded to Philly wouldn't have really been high lottery picks anyways, but this philosophy that the Clippers have, that is basically having no picks for the next 6 years at least, is pretty risky. It'll be hard to continuously acquire young talent without any draft assets, but we'll see how the Clippers front office continues to wheel and deal going forward. So, to wrap up today's video, I want to leave a few thoughts on the Clippers' outlook later this season and after. I'm curious how Ty Lue approaches their rotation in the playoffs because everyone says Harden needs the ball, but I think Harden should be forced to play off the ball more than Russ. And Harden just recently said he's not a system player, he is the system, so we'll have to take that for what it is. Kawhi and PG have player options next year, and you have to imagine that they like where they are in LA, and the Clippers will get them to re-sign, but more questions surround James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Russ is playing for basically a veteran minimum right now, and the question is, will he continue to do that going forward after this season? To be honest, I don't know. Harden, we know, basically feels like he just got finessed out of $26 million by Daryl Morey, so he's probably not looking to go down on his price. It'll be interesting to see if PG and Kawhi stay healthy, which is the recurring theme here with the Clippers, and how well Harden can play in their playoff run, because that should determine where the Clippers go after this year. That wraps it up. That is all I have for today. As always, thanks for checking out the video. Hit the subscribe button and bell notification to get the latest updates on the new content uploaded, and I'll see you next time.